at you all the way from our dorm rooms to your conference rooms. Sabah and Dan Tieman here, two college students who are ready to talk to you guys about business and lifestyle from our personal experiences.
Each week we'll discuss about our lifestyle as college students as well as our tips and strategies starting in the business field. We'll bring on successful entrepreneurs in the millennial generation to share with us their journey and how they got started and where they're at now.
Our goal is to help you students, millennials, and entrepreneurs gain inspirational advice via our spontaneous conversations and meaningful guidance. Let's dive on in.
Hello, welcome to episode 1 of Dorm Rooms and Conference Rooms podcast. It's our first ever episode and we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves. Sabah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. So excited for our first episode, Dan.
Yeah, so pretty much the layout of this episode is going to be pretty simple. Sabah's going to talk about herself. I'm going to talk about myself a little bit. We're going to format out how exactly the podcast is going to go. So Sabah, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so starting out, let's go way back. So I was born and raised in Ames, Iowa. Great little town, home of the Little Cyclones and Iowa State University, which is where I go to school right now. But born and raised here, I lived in Ames my entire life, literally, which kind of sucks, but it's good at the same time. But went to school here, went to high school, and then I decided to stay in Ames to go to college at Iowa State University. I'm doing 2 majors. One is apparel merchandising, and the other one is business management. The reason that I stayed in Ames and wanted to do 2 majors was kind of first because I wanted to stay closer to my family, and also ever since I was young, I always came to Iowa State University just for like events and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I really want to go to school here. But for my 2 majors, I was really interested in fashion at a really young age, so that's where my apparel merchandising major came along. And then for business, I got intrigued by business in high school when I started taking business classes and stuff like that. And then those 2 just really like merge and go well together. So that's what I'm doing right now. What about you, Dan? Let's hear about your story.
Yeah, so I'm from Chicago, born and raised. I live out in Davenport, Iowa right now, actually a couple hours away from Sabah. I go to St. Ambrose University. I'm a senior and I'm studying marketing with a minor in sales and leadership. So how I got into this all is basically I've always had a passion for business itself, all around business, anything from accounting, marketing, any finances, sales, really just all around business I really truly love. And then I started listening to podcasts and I really started to enjoy listening to a podcast show and thought it would be really cool to start one. And in the meantime, I joined up with Brandon T. Adams in his accelerator program where I met you, Sabah. And then it's kind of history from here. We're just starting the podcast show. It's going to be a lot of fun doing this together. We're really excited. And throughout the shows, you'll really learn more about ourselves. And we're really going to get into it all. So, Sabah, what do you envision for this podcast? What do you want people to take away from it?
Yeah, so this podcast, it's really targeted towards millennials and college students. Because obviously we're both in college, so we really want to market that aspect of it, and we're gonna pretty much just talk about anything and everything, mainly about business and lifestyle, just because of what we have been learning in college and what we're currently learning right now. So business tips and this, of course, lifestyle, because in college you have like relationships, friendships, like just a lot of things that are going on in college, so we really want to touch base on stuff like that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have guests on here who are entrepreneurs doing great things and stuff like that. So we're just going to have fun with it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, especially being in college, we can relate to a lot of people. I know I was talking to people today during finals week here coming up, and people were just stressing out about it when I was talking about what we're doing, starting the podcast, everything like that. Kids are like, how can you find the time to do all that when we have finals coming up? I go, you just got to make the time for something you truly love, and that's pretty much all I've been doing from now on is really, taking care of my time and doing really what I want to do, because that's the kind of life I want to live. I want to live an entrepreneurial lifestyle, and it starts in college when you just have so much going on, trying to learn how to balance everything.
Yeah, and that's very true, because I found my passion, my why, like a year ago, and that's obviously when I was in college, and that's like something that we want this podcast to put out as well, as people to find out what they want to do in life and what motivates them also. Because for me, I found out just recently that I really like to inspire other people. I want to do things that people will be like, oh, she's doing that in college. I can do the same thing. I can start in college rather than waiting 4 years, go through college, graduate, get a job or do whatever, and then figure out that they don't like what they're doing. So really about starting in college and figuring out what your why is and your passion.
Yeah, no, the why is almost the biggest deal out of this all. I know that I'm starting my entrepreneur lifestyle basically for my, my family, for my mom. She really drives me out of it all. She's, been through so much in her life and has really struggled on herself in the past couple of years more recently because just everything going on. And really, that's my why. That's my driving. I really want to make her proud. And being in college, I already know that when I graduate here, coming up shortly in the next 6 months or so, that she'll really be proud of me, and that's the main reason I want to get done with college. More so that than do the entrepreneur lifestyle where I could basically, if we wanted to, drop out of college now and everything we know, we could start businesses, get money, and not really have to worry about the piece of paper that they give you at the end of the day. So the formatting for this podcast is pretty simple. So every third podcast, we're going to have interviews with millennials and entrepreneurs. So we're going to have on the third, sixth, ninth, and so on episode are going to be entrepreneurs that are very successful in what they're doing, and they're going to talk about their stories, what's their why, how they did it all starting in college. A lot of them did do this, and we really want this to be inspirational to you guys so you can feel that you could start this while being in college. The other two episodes, so the next episode being number 2, we will be talking just about a random subject that has to do about business and lifestyle. And every Wednesday when we're releasing these episodes to you, we want this to be something you can implement in the middle of the week for your business. So whatever we talk about, anything from networking, mindset, lifestyle, how to live as a college entrepreneur, we really want to bring that to you on Wednesday so you could implement it, and a week later you could really see the results. So we really want to bring this podcast show to you to really help you out.
Yeah, for sure. And also, if you guys have different subjects or ideas like that you guys want us to talk about, feel free to reach out to us also, because we want everyone to feel engaged and listen to this podcast because we're college students. We want to have fun with this. We want everyone to learn as we're learning also. So feel free to reach out to us. You can find myself at sabahlee.com and find Dan at danieltieman.com.
Yeah, definitely just reach out to us. We're open to any suggestions at all. We really want to make this about you guys. This podcast is really for you guys itself, our audience, our loving audience that we really want to take care of. Any last words, Sabah?
Yeah, guys, just stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of different conversations throughout this. We're excited, and we're excited to put out from what we're learning from college and all the different entrepreneurs that we're going to interview.
And actually, guys, for the first 8 weeks, we're doing a special where we'll be putting out a show on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that's only for the first 8 weeks, and then we're only going to be on Wednesday. I'm going to tell you guys that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Dorm Rooms to Conference Rooms podcast. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and check out our accelerator program at brandonTadams.com/college. Seats are limited, so join today.